Hello, everybody. Danson. My name is Sunshine Dreaver. I come from Big River First Nation. I currently reside here in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan on Treaty 6 territory. Today, I'd like to present the opportunity for a family-run food truck that travels to different First Nations communities in Saskatchewan during powwow season from May to September. The goal is to provide healthy, affordable food options for our powwow people. First, I'm a powwow dancer and I've been dancing for 28 years. I know firsthand that there is a lack of healthy, affordable food options out there in powwow country. I'm also a registered nurse and I've been nursing now for 14 years. I've seen firsthand the harm that diabetes can cause if not well managed. To mitigate some of those risks for First Nations people, I would like to offer and contribute back to our people by providing healthier food options and teachable moments for those that struggle with chronic disease and diabetes. I'm also diabetic, and I've been diabetic for 6 years. I understand the hardship it causes and how hard it is to manage diabetes through diet and exercise. It's hard to find the balance. If I were to win $25,000, what I would do is utilize that money to provide a utility trailer and equipment to start my business. What I do want to offer is traditional foods, healthy foods, protein options for those that, as powwow dancers, we are athletes and we need to give our bodies back that nourishment. That would be another area that I would like to provide for our people. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Hi, Sunshine. My name is Tara. It's so nice to meet you today. I'm going to ask you your first question. I'm just wondering if you could tell us a little about your plans for your actual menu and the food that you would provide in your food truck once you get started on the powwow trail.
So being a powwow dancer, when you go to powwows, there are a lot of options for like cheeseburgers, fries, Indian tacos, a lot of fried food options. What I would like to offer is more healthier soup options. With traditional foods, I've looked into different other businesses that offer like muskeg tea, mint tea that is, picked. And I would offer soups, bannocks, muskeg tea, mint tea, and my specialty would be minsapli. Minsapli is sweet berry soup. Sweet berry soup and bannock. It is like a traditional dish, but to spice it up and serve it as a modern day kind of cuisine would be pretty amazing.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hi, Sunshine. My name's Phil. Nice to meet you. Thanks for being here. It takes so much courage to be in front of us. Well done. My question to you, I guess, would be in terms of your hurdles. What's been the biggest struggle so far? And I guess a quick follow-up question to that is that have you started already something similar, preparing the food already, and are you distributing that? Thank you.
I have not started the food truck business yet. The biggest barrier for me right now is the transportation. When you're traveling to powwows, everything is totally off grid. So you have to be prepared to survive 3 days with refrigeration and freezer options and have everything mobile so that you can keep your stuff safe and fresh, right? So I think one of my biggest barriers would be to transport all items to the powwow and actually, or to the community that I'm in, and actually have all the equipment basically is. So anything that is, if I were to receive any funds for this, it would definitely go to transportation and startup fees.
Thanks very much, Sunshine. We appreciate your time and your answers.
Thank you so much.
Bonjour, Edwin, Shyra Wright, Indigenous cause, Bikejwan territory, Nujabal, Wapline First Nation, which translates to the place where waters divide, aka Wapline First Nation. Formula S all started with me selling just smoothies. I chose smoothies because it's healthy, it's refreshing, and it's perfect for staying cool at powwows. I chose traditional berries and fruits from that are native to Turtle Island, like strawberries, blueberries, marberries, raspberries, and mixed berries blended together with a modern twist. You don't usually see smoothies at powwow, so I wanted to bring something new and something different, something healthy. Formula S stands for everything that starts with S: spirit food, social enterprise, social occasions, and I offer a wide range of high-end street food as long as it's something that's like cost effective as well. But from smoothies to sodas to steep teas, sliders, smash burgers, spuds, soups, salads, and sides, steaks, spare ribs, and snack items. Each dish is prepared using traditional ingredients, showcasing my culinary and skills and techniques. I source my ingredients from the land, water, and air, hunting and gathering them for myself, or working with other hunter-gatherers from different reservation communities. With the $25,000 prize, I plan to scale up my social enterprise by building a mobile restaurant and expanding to multiple locations. My dream is to share this journey with my mother, traveling on the Powwow Trail. I'm truly honored and excited to be semi-finalist here at the Powwow Pitch 2024. Chimigwets for this amazing opportunity.
I guess that's it. Thank you, Edwin, so much for the pitch. We really enjoyed it. My name is Natalia. I'm from Mastercard, and I'm going to ask you the first follow-up question. Could you talk a little bit about how you see a business prospering in the coming year in terms of financials and profit margin? Because food as an industry is very tricky, entrepreneurial business is very tricky. So how to make sure that you maintain a healthy margin and don't run out of money half the way?
Well, honestly, I started all this when I was I was working full-time as a solar technician. My mother got COVID. She was in a coma for like 6 months. She had a 1% chance of living. My father, she came out of the coma a week later. My father passed away in a house fire. I lost everything. But prior to that, COVID sent me home because I was living out west doing solar installations as an independent contractor. I had $200 million in contracts, which was like 265 kilowatts, which based out to like 36 projects. I lost all that as well. So when my mom came out of coma, she had to learn how to walk again. I had to do all her heavy lifting, etc. And so I grew up with my father. I never really had my mother. So this gave us the opportunity to make up for lost time. And cooking was a lot of our, we spent a lot of time cooking because that's what helped her with the recovery most, to give her all the nutrients, right? So once she started recovering a little bit, I said, Mom, I'm gonna go back to college. I'm gonna take culinary and we're gonna open up a restaurant, and we're gonna go on the Powwow Trail. So that's kind of where it all started. But then when I got into culinary, like right away, the first month, September 2022, I started independently catering out throughout Windsor for the city of Windsor, town of LaSalle, Hydro One, conservationists, University of Windsor, University of Guelph, representatives from Wappo Island, representatives from Caldwell First Nation, the chief herself, the mayor. He gave me a gift package for all my contributions to the community. But I also give back to the community, especially at powwows. I feed the dancers, I feed the MCs for free. And like I scale everything because they teach us that in the culinary course. So I never lose a profit. My margins are, I have a this thing that's almost like an assistant online. It helps me organize everything from my clients to my ingredients to my menus. I can do my invoices and everything on that, and the analytics on that. When I'm consistent, it skyrockets to like 500%. So I never lose any money. And the best thing about it though is I'm uniting people. My food brings people together, and it comes with a story.
I am Sary Innerst from Brandon, Manitoba. I started a baking business on April 8th, selling sourdough bread and other sourdough baked goods, aiming to promote healing and healthy through healthy food. I plan to combine my love for travel, healing, and cooking. My sourdough bread is made with 3 ingredients, is antioxidant rich, and stabilizes blood sugar. I aim to train and employ others, helping them break cycles of poverty and leaving a legacy for my children and grandchildren. Winning 25,000 will help me with marketing materials like labels, business cards, bread bags, and other packaging. It will also cover a van, kitchen rental, insurance, food safety certifications, and workshop costs like supplies like Dutch ovens and other baking supplies. I plan to rent a kitchen, schedule workshops to train and hire individuals who need to produce bread for markets and events expanding across Manitoba and Canada. I continue to train and employ economically challenged folks using healthy ingredients to promote energy, health, healing, and cycle breaking. Vote for Sary Help and more. Sourdough is the way to go.
So it looks like you've got product. It looks like you're already like a seasoned baker. That's so great. Can you tell us a little bit about like how things have been going? Like how did you get started? How are things going? And like what is the very next step for you to like make that leap into increasing your sales and yeah, bringing that product to the market, maybe fuller to more folks? Like how's it going and where do you see it going in the near future?
Okay, well, I started my business in April because I'm raising my grandson and I had left my work due to grief and loss. I work with homeless people on my streets of Brandon. And so I started doing markets on Friday, like today is a market day, but I ended up staying in. And sales are going pretty good. I have my regular customers. I have seen people being healed in their digestion. There's people that love my product, but I want to expand. I feel like I'm not making enough product for just like I'm not making enough product, so I want to expand. I want to start teaching others how to make it. It's made with 3 ingredients, which is perfect in our economy. So I was thinking about like how do we break out of poverty? How do I help people make some money? How do I help them heal? How do I get people healthy? So that's where it came from. And I want to leave something for my grandchildren and my children as well. And they love cooking and baking as well. So there's a lot of markets around, but I'm only one person. So I want to get into a kitchen, rent a kitchen, and start training people to go themselves and do markets. I also do lots of products like brownies, waffles, English muffins, everything sourdough. So it's super healthy for our bodies. And as I get older, I need that healthy energy. There's certain things that I can't eat. So that's why I started this.
Thank you. That's great. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Carrole Plourde, and I'm the proud owner of Bannock in a Bag. I'm from the Mattagami Reserve in Sudbury, Ontario, and I currently live in the beautiful city of Calgary. I've facilitated 2 evidence-based social programs called Getting to Know You and Bannock in a Bag, where I educate people about Indigenous culture and history through food and oral stories and language lessons. I love connecting and bringing accessibility of traditional Indigenous foods to share, eat, unify, and educate people. Bannock in a Bag was created to give everyone that nostalgic feeling of home and comfort while respecting and highlighting Indigenous history. Bannock in a Bag is a dry product for people who want the ability to make this bread easily at home. If I were to win, I would use the monies to expand and establish my product, as I am currently in the startup stages of my business. I am a community builder, and I would also be hiring from the Indigenous community. I want to thank Powwow Pitch for this opportunity to share in this cultural journey with Bannock in a Bag. Thank you.
Great job, Carrole. Congratulations for being here. It's so nice to meet you.
You as well.
My name is Tara, and I'm going to ask you your first question today. So what I'm curious to know is, I know you're in the startup phase, but as you get going a little more, what are your plans on how or where you will sell your product and how you will market your product?
I've been offered by Fort Calgary to put my product on their shelves. So I'm also have also signed an agreement with the Minister of Agriculture of Alberta to do some benchmark processing at their new food processing center in Leduc, Alberta. So that contract lasts till the end of March of 2025. So I would be selling it online at my programs and also at farmers markets and Indigenous markets as well.
Fantastic. Okay, I'm going to pass it over to my fellow judge here.
Thanks, Tara. Hi, Carrole. Nice to meet you. My name is Phil, and I'm from Peguis First Nation, and I work at RBC. Great presentation today, very informative. Also, I like the catchy name of Bannock in a Bag. My question to you is, what type of bags are you actually using? Are we thinking, I'm imagining for some reason plastic bags, but I'm thinking you probably thought of something else, maybe perhaps more sustainable?
Yeah. It is a dry bag, or it's a dry product, so it's in a food safe bag. I'm using everything from Alberta that I can. And so it's in a sustainable paper bag.
I'm very happy to hear that. Great answer, great presentation, and congratulations on making it to the semifinals, and wish you the best in the future.
Thank you.
Bonjour, Odemen Quain Indigenous, Kebowit Nadonjaba. I'm Dr. Shyra Barberstock, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Cabenesh, an Indigenous-led tea and coffee company headquartered in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. Our tea is inspired by the 7 grandfather teachings of the Anishinaabe, and our coffee is inspired by 4 wampum treaties. For our Give Back program, a percentage of profits will support Indigenous culture and language revitalization, starting with our Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee communities. Our 5 co-founders are successful entrepreneurs with over 3 decades of experience in the coffee and tea industry, branding, marketing, and tech. We've done over 26,000 in sales after launching our e-commerce site in November 2023, and we're on track to do over 100,000 in sales before the end of the year. We're continuing to expand by working with retailers and distributors. With partnerships with tea and coffee co-packers, we're gearing up for a rapid scale up this fall. Unfortunately, we did have one major setback this year. We had a manufacturing issue and our coffee bags are oversized. For example, this is a retail appropriate size. We cannot currently sell our coffee to retail in this format. If I win the 25,000, we'll do a new run of coffee at a retail appropriate size so we can continue to expand. This will help to prepare us for the high coffee sales we expect to have in the fall and winter. Chimagwech.
Oh my God, that deserves a round of applause. Thank you so much. Really, we enjoyed it. I mean, so precise, concise, to the point, and you also were well prepared with all the different objects, etc., which adds up to the positive image that you've made with your company. I'm really struggling to find a question because many of the questions are already answered during the pitch. Let me ask you this. Do you have some kind of a flagship product in your, whatever you offer to customers among teas and coffees, multiple brands, and I don't know, some merchandise as well? So do you have a flagship product as such? And if yes, what makes it the one?
Yeah, that's such a great question. Thank you so much. So we have 7 blends of teas that are inspired by the 7 grandfather teachings. So every single one of them has the grandfather teaching on it. We even celebrate the language. So every one of these is also translated into Anishinaabe Moen. So for example, this one is called Respect Tea, and it's ginger and turmeric spice herbal tea. It's a really good seller. All of our teas were actually blended by John Snell. John Snell is one of our co-founders. He used to be the head tea blender for Mother Parkers. So these are all really, really high quality teas. And the coffees that we have are inspired by the spirit of 4 different wampum treaties. And all of these are also translated into Mohawk. I'm half Anishinaabe on my birth mother's side and French on my birth father's side. My husband is also one of the co-founders. He's Mohawk. So that's why you have Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee influences. So there's 4 different coffees. We also do gift boxes as well.
That's super cool. I love that you do the gift boxes as an alternate offering to your customers. I'm just looking at your website now. So good. And congratulations on your incredible success, having gone online and seeing the success of that strategy.
Thank you.
I'm curious with a product like coffee specifically, like, as I'm sure you know, it's incredibly volatile in terms of supply chain prices being affected by climate change, changes in weather. So pricing, everything from pricing, fair wages, all of that kind of thing can really change your profit margin. So tell me a bit about how you intend or have already protected your supply chain. What are your contingencies, and how do you make sure that that volatility doesn't necessarily impact your business and your bottom line?
That's a really great question. You really know the coffee business. One of the things I've done is surrounded myself with a good team. If it were just me alone, like that would be overwhelming. But I have 2 co-founders that are very knowledgeable about the coffee company. One of my co-founders, Barry Hillier, used to have his own coffee company in Toronto, and he sold it actually so he could focus on K-Banish. He's very, very helpful. We're also working with a coffee co-packer, so they definitely help us a lot. We have a new co-packer that we're working with. And we'll be doing a new run of coffee in the fall with them. So they're very helpful. We've also hired a consultant that has decades of experience in the coffee industry. And that consultant has been guiding us to make sure that we have the correct profit margins to protect ourselves, because as you said, it's volatile. So if the market, if coffee increases, we're not going to lose profits and we won't be in trouble. So I've surrounded myself with a lot of really good people.
Love that answer. That's also key to success, is how we pass off some of the responsibilities of an entrepreneur to others, because at the start, we all want to do it ourselves, right? And kudos on you for developing that team and offering, some of that responsibility to others. It's great. Congrats.
Thanks.
Utilizing Indigenous spaces as a way to create space for us to heal and make profit. The pillars of our business are food sales, trading services, ceremonies, working experiences, connections to North America, sharing talents and creations, and we offer workshops. For example, I taught over 1,000 youth last year the basics of animal hides, and I cooked for everyone. We have connections in modeling, film, photography, spiritual, mental, and physical aspects, but the most important part is creating transportation, in which we will be using the money to transport to the connections, working experience, and culture. I will be able to provide this. Bringing the youth traveling with us and holding space for them to heal is our mission. We work with the people who struggle with substance abuse and houselessness, as we are all Plains Cree people and people shouldn't have to suffer. I want to move away from the thought of bringing it back to my own community, but rather my people as a whole, to be able to stop being idle and to go back to an old way of sharing, giving, traveling, feeding, and teaching and trading. Think of homies as connections, experience, healing, creating through food rather than a food business itself.
So I know you said that food and beverage doesn't really resonate with you, but I would love to know a little bit about homies, about the food that you serve or the drinks that you serve and the product that you have, just so I can understand. I loved your pitch and how you focused on what you're giving back to your community, and that's so important. But just so we can understand a little bit more about the product that's wrapped up in all of this great work you're doing.
So I have products and then I have services. My product would be the food services. The food is, I make bannock burgers for hockey tournaments. I have Indian taco sales for when single moms need help. And then I have healthy, affordable, traditional meals. My brothers provide all the wild meat for me. But I need coolers to transport things like that. That's why I'm coming on Powwow Pitch. Our menu has changed based on where we're going to. For example, Treaty 4 hired us to come do a cookout, but they gave us all the food, where I set up hide camps and I provided all the food, and I did like neck bone soup. I did like skillets. I also go to powwows consistently and I bring youth and we cook whatever they want to make and whatever we can afford. I'll be like, this is the budget. What are your ideas? And then we'll execute it as a way to, because some people don't want to have like greasy burgers. Some people, like my youth recently wanted to make kebabs. And so I was able to be like, this is how you can afford it. This is how you prep it. This is how you sell it. There's your experience.
Fantastic. Okay, love that. Okay, I'm going to pass it over to my fellow judge, and he's going to ask you a question, and then you're done. So great.
Hi, Tiana. My name is Phil. I'm from Pegos First Nation, and I work with RBC. It sure takes a lot of courage to be in front of the camera. So thanks for for showing such resiliency and such strength to pitch your presentation in your business. I'd like to see. I have like a quickly in 30 seconds. I just like to understand. If you seem to be leading this, driving this alone. It sounds like you have a really good support team. So, in a few words, what's your ultimate objective?
Saskatchewan has the highest rates in suicide and overdoses in Canada and young people. I know this because I suffered at the hands of that. And this is what I've made. And I know it works. So that's how I've done it. And I'll have spaces within Saskatchewan for them. And I want essentially our Plains Cree people to move and not be idle and stuck on these colonial man-made reservations. And I want us to share as people, not only our own community, because it just, obviously that ain't working. And it's just, like, I buried somebody on Monday. So it's like, that's why I'm a little shaky, because like speaking about this and like why I'm doing it is really passionate. And like, I know how much I suffered on the reserves, and we need to move. We need to go. Like, we followed the buffalo before colonialism, and we need to go back to that. And I have programs ready to start moving. I just need funding.
White Huhuaitip. Hello, everyone. My name is Bailie Stewart, and I'm from Stucktouse First Nation. I was raised with a rodeo background and upbringing while being fully immersed in the cattle industry. And as a child, I remember processing our own meat, whether it was wild game or domestic meat. But in our household, the best cutter got the best knife. And as for me, I was the wrapper. I was the packer. And my skills were not up to snuff with the rest of my family. And for as long as I can remember, I've always been the meat packer. And then I told myself, I want to be the meat cutter. I want to have the best knife. So, having graduated from one of the best retail meat processing programs in BC, my dream is to build a successful and fully inspected custom cutting meat shop on Indigenous land. The startup money will kickstart my business and aid in food sovereignty within my home nation. And as I build success, I will give back to nearby bands and generate more employment as my business grows in demand. Kickstarter.
Thank you so much, Bailie, for the wonderful pitch. We really enjoyed that. I'm Natalia from Mastercard, and I'm going to ask you the first question. You mentioned that you were going to create more employment opportunities for once you develop your business further. Could you please a little bit elaborate on that? Like what exact plans do you have in mind? How you're going to expand, grow at scale, and whether it's worth it, because of the costs and expenses and growth of business. Thank you.
So as of right now, as I'm starting, it will just be me and my spouse running the shop until next year. I'm hoping that I can increase my demand. Well, my demand will be increased because the meat industry is just so booming right now. There's 2-year wait lists everywhere, and I'm already getting people asking me right now to get started. So eventually, once I'm off the ground and I'm bringing in positive revenues and I'm really like doing well, I want to do a retail front store eventually. I'm in the works right now with Tecumloops, the local band, and they have their own ranch. So what they want to do is they want to partner up with me. They want to do the abattoir part, and then I will be doing the cutting part. So we're wanting to do a partnership there, and then kind of work from there and see how it goes. Because I know my demand is going to be a very heavy demand. So if my demand gets too much, I don't want to disappoint my customers, because you want to be able to like get your product out right away. You don't want people waiting, that's going to be a big issue right there. So as my demand grows, I'm going to need more staff. I'm going to need people helping me with cutting. And then eventually in the future, when the retail store does open, I'm going to need people in the retail store. I'll have to have somebody managing that front, because I'll have to manage the meat portion, like the meat cutting section. So that'll be it'll be a lot of work. And I think with the right team, I can make it happen.
Bailie, sorry, don't mean to cut you off, but just want to have my colleague an opportunity to ask you the second question. Thank you.
Thank you. So good to meet you, Bailie. Crystal from Shopify. Really quickly, So the thing about demand, you say you have all these insights into demand, people want it. Could you tell us really quickly about that? And then like, how are you going to stay competitive with like regular supermarkets who are offering, like they obviously get bulk. How will you like price match or offer something better than what they're offering? What's your plan for differentiation?
So for right now, as far as it goes with the meat industry, our biggest would be our farmers, our local farmers. Tecumloops also has their own cattle herd they're starting. So they want to start serving out their own beef, but have somebody else manage the meat cutting front. So that's where I kind of come into play. So they supply the meat, I do the cutting and wrapping, and then after that it gets sold to the customers. And another one is game meat. So a lot of people don't have a lot of places to go for cut and wrap for game. A lot of these places that I've looked into, I've done walkthroughs and tours of a lot of the local meat shops around here. The one Rangelands meat that's in town here, that's quite a big one, that one is strictly beef. So they can't go outside of those parameters because they are so in demand with their beef. There's another one in town that's Cam Lake. They are in the same predicament, so they kind of bounce back and forth between pork and beef. So there's really not much available outside of that. I get a lot of questions from people, especially down in the Lower Mainland, asking, "Are you open? Are you open? I have deer, I have moose, I have like they come down here to hunt, but they have nowhere to cut and wrap. So most people will just hunt and then they got this carcass, but then they can't really lug a whole carcass from the interior back down to the Lower Mainland. So that's kind of where I pop in. I fill in those gaps of where a lot of meat cutters won't kind of touch that area. And for me, I'm game. I'm as game can get. I don't mind cutting game.
I see what you did there.
Aloha mai kako, o wau o Wailani Artates. We are Luau Creamery, creators of the first coffee and tea creamer that celebrates canoe crops of Hawaii. Canoe crops are original plants that Polynesian voyagers chose to make that trip across the sea. They have multiple uses, many health benefits, and above all, really delicious. There are nearly 60% of Native Hawaiians living outside of Hawaii. It is our mission to share our aloha around the world with a product that is Hawaii, a product that will bring us right back home. We all drink coffee daily, and it's that little joy that helps us start our day. Imagine you're a homesick father who had to move his family away from home for a better future, or a college freshman who just pulled off an all-nighter. You take that first sip and it just takes you to that place. It takes you home. Our creamer connects our Native community near and far by using locally sourced kalo that we would love to continue to grow our production and process with other locally grown crops. E ala e, let's have some Hawaii to start your day. Mahalo.
Fantastic. And as a lactose intolerant person who loves coffee, I feel like this could be an option for me. Am I correct?
It is correct. We do use a base of non-dairy creamer in our product that is non-dairy.
Okay. That's just a side question, not my actual question, but I would like to know a little bit more about where you intend or how you're currently selling your product and how you intend to expand on that in the future, whether that's retail, wholesale. Yeah, so your selling plan.
Currently, we're in the infant stages. We just actually got our first packaging, and we are selling at local markets. We're selling at local boutique shops, and as well as direct to customer online.
Okay, fantastic. I'll send it over to my fellow judge.
Thank you very much. Very good presentation, Wailani. Nice to meet you. I'm Phil with RBC. I just had a quick question as well in regards to the, so I'm assuming this doesn't require refrigeration. And so perhaps I'd like to understand a little more about the harvesting and the transformation of the product before it actually makes it to that lovely, I believe it's a box that you're holding. The packaging. Oh, okay. Sorry. The bag. So anyways, so if you could just walk us through that, please.
Of course. It actually doesn't require refrigeration. It is in powdered form. What happens is we work with Maui farmers particularly and some Kauai But they produce the kalo, which is taro, and it usually is harvested from like ancient lo'i, which are kalo farms that are grown in waterbeds. And then they're processed at their facility, which gets to us, that is in a refrigerated form, and is then dehydrated and then grinded down to powdered form.
Okay, thanks very much for sharing that. Wishing you best of luck. Congratulations for your excellent presentation, and wish you all the best in the future. How would I say it? Mahalo.
Mahalo. Thank you so much.